Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and the hits keep coming. This is the dev notes for the balance changes. I don't even know who's in this yet, but boy, oh, flipping boy, am I flipping excited. And as we get into this, there was another art piece that's in the game I want to take a look at really quick. So we showed this off last video and you guys love this art, so I thought I'd take a little bit of a deeper look into it, you know? And I was looking at it and I saw something and I'm wondering if anybody else sees it too. I'll give you a hint. We'll start zooming in, okay? We'll get to where it is. So let's cut off a little bit of it here and tell me, you guys tell me now when you start seeing what I'm trying to say. So if we do this here, and we'll start making this bigger, just a little bit bigger. We're getting there, so we can almost see it. So let's make Lilius a little smaller here, just so we can make everything else a little bigger. And if we zoom right in to that person with the gun in the back, we find, wait, what is that? Who is that? Let me zoom in a little bit more and we get our sponsor of the day, Crossfire Warzone. This is the beautiful Caitlin from there. It's a masterful mix of strategy, simulation, and RPG. A little bit of everything. There's 25 unique hot waifus, including our wonderful Caitlin we saw there, with city takeovers, weapon technologies, gear to upgrade. You can defeat some terrorists in real-time combat. You can take back cities, massive organic weapons that threaten humanity. So many things you can do. The part I'm most excited for personally is the base building. I always love that aspect of games, and it looks like it's done pretty well here, so I am stoked for that. And I'm going to suit up some of these waifus and throw them in there as well, of course. So download Crossfire Warzone in the link description below for free and try it out now. And let's see who's here. I'm hoping for Aramintha. I was thinking about what might make Aramintha better, and I would really like more combat readiness on her skill 3, or more stun chance on her skill 3, or like skill 3 automatically chaining into skill 2 or something like that. Haste should get a buff eventually because people are so consistent on complaining about it. I imagine there will be an ML5 changed here, which is probably, I don't know if it's going to be balances on, but I think it might be. Maybe something new like Briarwitch Iceria. Let's just go. So I'm so stoked. We're planning to change 8 heroes and 1 piece of exclusive equipment. Okay. Oh, Silverblade Aramintha, so help me. I saw Aramintha. Oh my god, I almost lost it. Let me make that over there. How do they do this to me? Why her? She doesn't need a buff. I don't have her yet. She doesn't need a buff. Kise, Ravi, Ken? Come on, really? Really? Also, side note, I'm re-rolling an account right now for Ravi, so that's kind of cool. Shadow Rose, Kitty, Clarissa, General Purrgis, underused? Celeste? I mean, I don't really like this list. Silverblade Aramintha, yeah, that's cool and all, but I feel like she's good. Is she not good right now? Kise is somebody they keep trying to push. Ravi is definitely something that could be used. Ken as well, but there's always, like, they always change these fire units. And I feel like they're trying to make them handle stuff like Charles and stuff like SSB not completely fold over to them, so we'll see. And the others are kind of cool too. Exclusive equipment Charles. That's gotta be a nerf, right? There's no way that's a buff. Could you imagine if they buff Charles? Okay, so let's take a look at Silverblade Aramintha here. So flame release before is attacks all enemies with mystic fire energy, increasing the caster's combat readiness by 20%. Now it's Mystic Fire Energy with a 60% chance to burn for 1 turn, and also increases the caster's combat readiness by 25%. I mean, why even bother with regular Aramintha? It's so frustrating. I want her so bad. Could you imagine what my life would be like and my game would be like if I pulled Silverblade Aramintha way back then? Jeez. So Meteor Fall drops a giant meteor on the enemies, making them unhealable for 2 turns before a 50% chance to inflict 2 burn effects for 2 turns. Oh, that's Unawakened. I was like, did they get rid of the stun? So now it's stunning, it's unhealable, and 2 burns? Like, and it acquires 3 souls? Like, this is pretty good. But it just makes me salty about regular Aramintha. Like, the fact that they give somebody a way better kit already than regular Aramintha, and for Aramintha's buff, they're just like, LOL, here's 5% more damage, and she gets this, it's like, come on. Come on! Not salty, I swear. So, Silverblade Aramintha was designed to be a hero that could lead your team to victory thanks to the advantages she granted to her team through the debuff, stun, and burn. However, the utility of this skill has been reduced due to the number of heroes who can now remove debuff effects. With this upcoming change, the debuff Unhealable will be added to Meteor Fall, allowing her to effectively respond to heroes with healing effects. Okay, so the thing is, the people with healing effects are often water, right? Like, there's DN, that's a problem. Angelic Montmorency, I guess, too. And they're gonna have really, 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 really high ER. So, like, obviously this is pretty fantastic. And 2 turns is insane. But I feel like this is almost better. The Flame Release, that's pretty cool too. Obviously an amazing change. I think she was fantastic already. I don't know why they did this. I'm not upset because I will get her one day. She will come home to me. I can feel it. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's take a look at Kise here. One thing I'd like to see with Kise before we read this is make her better at Wyvern. That's always what made her stand out over others. It'd be really nice to see her help for Wyvern teams, specifically ones that go longer and always hit the shield phase. I think that's what she kind of excelled at, and that's what I would like to see. They're probably going to try to push PvP with her, which is something they've been doing a lot lately, and I understand she's actually been pretty good for PvP, and I have lost to one recently as well. So Dark Scar, that's her skill 2. Attacks all enemies with a scythe, penetrates the enemy's defense by 30% and by an additional 30. Okay, I always read wait, so this is a nerf, right? Oh, no, this is only when stealth, so it's 30% when she's not stealth, 30%, so it is the same overall but better on average. So Nocturne, after Awakened, leaps towards the enemy, increasing the cooldown by 1 turn twice. So that's 2 chances instead of 1, and then grants the caster stealth and barrier for 2 turns before increasing combat readiness by 50%. Okay, so that makes it so she cycles to her Nocturne, her Dark Scar faster, and that's obviously pretty good, right? Because she'll have the stealth, so that's like a less chance she'll get rid of herself. So obviously pretty solid again. I don't know what this will do to her. After using her skill, Kise was able to survive in battle due to the stealth effect and barrier that it provided. She was then able to use Dark Scar. However, it was challenging to set this combination. Yeah, that super makes sense. Her kit should work, and it didn't really work fully before. Yep, this is also cool too. I did like this. You get 2 chances instead of 1. So that's kind of cool. Oh, the critical hit condition required to grant barriers will also be removed, so that if a miss occurred, she automatically be granted a barrier, which is essential for her survival. So I missed the red over on this side, so that's taken out as well. That's really cool too. That definitely helps. So Ravi here has a attack and a stun 35% chance on her skill 1. I don't know what that comes to with Molagoras or if that changes at all. But that's pretty sweet. And I'm actually like I said, I'm starting a new account right now to play with new units, not as a tutorial, like not as a here's how new players play, but as units I want to build. And Ravi, who I'm picking for my selective summon, which is kind of exciting to me. So Demon's Blood after increases the caster's attack by 15% and effectiveness by 10%. So it just adds effectiveness onto this. So it's just another way to give her stun and make her great on counter as well. So that's really cool. I think that's definitely a help. That's definitely going to help her out. I think she's a great unit. I'm excited to try her out again. So Ken's knockout, 50% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns. Okay, that's a 15% increase to his defense down there. That's always helpful. So what did they change with this? With a 75% chance to decrease defense. So it has no chance to decrease defense anymore. It's a 100% chance. And it changes there too. So it's just a 100% chance now with no other changes. That's not bad either. And Phoenix Flurry, let's go to this one here. So, and grants vigor to the caster for 4 turns before granting 15 fighting spirit. So now instead of that, it is there for 3 turns instead of 4. And it consumes less fighting spirit, and it's on a less cooldown. So interesting. I don't know much about Ken. I'm sorry for this. A lot of these units I'm actually not too familiar with, which is one of the reasons why I want to start another account so I can play with units that I don't build on my main. So with this balance adjustment, all of Ken's skills will be buffed in order to improve his usability. First, the decreased defense probability for his skill 1 knockout will be slightly increased, and his skill 2 also has his defense decreased chance improved to 100% without the conditional requirement. Additionally, we have decreased the amount of fighting spirit required to Phoenix Flurry by 20, as well as reduced the cooldown to 4 turns. There were also some clarities made to Ken's skill description to bring it in line with our current skill description style. So this is pretty cool. This is obviously a solid buff. I don't think it's enough. Like, I don't think he's a bad character. I know I got a bad rap for always saying he's bad. It's not that he's bad. I just don't like him. And I think this makes him a little bit better at what he does, but I'm not sure how good he is at what he does in the current meta. So that's something to consider. Hiccup. So we have Spear of Darkness here. The Soul Burn is taking off of decrease or increased damage dealt, and it's going to Spear of Darkness, cooldown decreased by 2 turns. I don't think that matters too much. And Goddess of Ruin increases the effectiveness of the caster for 2 turns as well. And damage dealt increased just passively. Cool. So that's a pretty big change. Not a big change, but it's a change. I'm not sure how she works. I know a lot of people right now, the only people I know that use the Moonlight Rose is through one-shot teams, through Banshee specifically, maybe some other places. And I'm not sure what her skill order is there, so this is potentially giving her effectiveness to help her do that better. Interesting. I don't think this is gonna do much, but let's read a little bit more, see what they say. Shadow Rose's skill, Goddess of Ruin, contained a problem where the combat readiness reduction was translated as singular. The text will be corrected. Okay. Improvements will be made to Shadow Rose through the Soulburn effect so that she can utilize decreased defense that is triggered by Spear of Darkness. More frequently, when you use Soulburn, the skill cooldown is decreased by 2 turns. The Soulburn increases damage dealt for Goddess of Ruin will now be transferred to Spear of Darkness. Increased. Yep. Additionally, if you use Goddess of Destruction, the increased effectiveness will be applied to the caster for 2 turns. Yeah, that makes sense. All of those are good changes. I don't think it's enough at all, but those are good changes. I don't even think that would help you for one-shot teams, right? Because you're not really, like, you don't really need extra effectiveness for one-shot teams because you're probably going to have that amount of effectiveness anyway. It's not too hard to reach, especially if all you care about is your one-shot team. But the increased damage may help push you through a little bit more, and you might be able to build for more damage if that character needs it to clear better with that increased effectiveness. So something to consider here. So let's take a look at Kitty Clarissa. So, ignores effect resistance instead of increased damage. I mean, that's fantastic. The Dark Elemental here will be adjusted so that she can reliably release an enemy's buff for 2 turns and then make them unhealable at the same time, regardless of element. So that's fantastic. Great change. Makes her better for longer term, maybe RTA. I'm not sure if people use her there, but specifically Guild War offense as well. We'll probably see some use there. Kind of a cool change. It does make it so it's guaranteed. One of the things I say a lot when I when I talk about units that do things specifically, like for example, what's a good example of this? For example, Cerise has a stun that is 100% chance, but it can get resisted. But with the burn, it's 100% chance. So it's one of those things where you can rotate for a while in Guild War offense and line everything up until you have souls, and then guarantee you land that stun against their high ER Ruel or something like that. So anytime something ignores ER like this, it's fantastic. We then have General Purrgis. So I'm kind of interested in this. I use my General Purrgis everywhere. I think he's one of my highest win rate units. I think he's my cornerstone of my Wyvern 13 team. He's a fantastic character. So, so they're giving him a damage buff? I mean, sure. Not at all what I wanted, needed, or expected. But, I mean, that is a change. And so far, as I'm reading, like, we'll talk about this after, actually. Let's keep reading. So, Moonlight Celeste shoots a volley of arrows within enemies. 85% chance to decrease combat readiness by 20%. So it's up by 35%. And I'm not sure if this goes to 100% with Molagoras, but that would be great, because it's really annoying when you're in like a stage and trying to clear with Celeste, and 3 of the 4 monsters get combat readiness reduced and 1 doesn't, and then it ruins everything. Be nice to have it at 100%. And the damage delta increase is actually fantastic, because I think Celeste is a great farmer, and with good enough gear, I think she's one of the fastest farmers too. So this is kind of cool too. Therefore, with this adjustment, we improve corrosive volley by increasing the chance. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like this change. I have Celeste at 6-star, and I have used her for farming before, and I think it went pretty great. So, Charles dispels all debuffs inflicted on the caster after using Faithful Strike. Dispels all debuffs from the caster before the skill effect when you buffed Charles? What is wrong with you? What is wrong? Who hurt you? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand. The balance adjustment will change the order in which debuffs are dispelled after using one of Charles' exclusive equipments. Mango, calm down. That's ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why would they buff? Like, this isn't big, obviously. This is not really massive. And if anything, it might actually, like, negate a lot of the frustrations, because it's less chance for him to skill 1, skill 2. But it's still, like, out of all the things you can do, this is what you choose. This is your choice. This is the hill you're going to die on. I don't understand. I do not understand. I do not understand. Still no haste. Okay, so let's go through this really quick. Silverblade Aramintha, I think, got the overall best change here, right? Because she was already fantastic IMO. Maybe I'm biased there. And it made her just better overall everywhere. And I think that burn is fantastic, added to her flame release here. Kise's change, pretty great as well. I think it makes her a little more durable. I think it makes her a little bit more dangerous, and I think it's just great. Ravi, I also think the same thing. I think it makes her a little bit more consistent, a little bit more dangerous, and a little bit better in longer battles. Ken is the same thing. I think it makes him much more consistent. I'm not sure if he'll really be used. Like, I'm not scared of Ken's anymore. So that'll be something interesting to see. Shadow Rose is kind of just a no-go, I think. I don't think there's much change here. Kitty Clarissa is kind of the same. I feel like it's great change, but I don't think it's enough. General Purrgis is LOL. It's something. Celeste is a bit of a boost, but I'm not sure how much increased damage it will do. And Charles is Are You Serious? So what I wanted to say here is I think for these things, especially if they're happening once every month or 2 months, I'm not sure, they need to do one standout for each thing. Like they need to redesign or blatantly make a character great in one of these things, or blatantly change something in the meta, because this is changing theoretically nothing. Like technically we had Tempest Siren in the last one that did something fantastic, but I don't know. I feel like they should use these, especially since they're consistently done and they're not too far away from each other, and they can fix things within a month. Like it's not a big problem. I really think they need to go like hard on one unit that's like the all-star every time, like 1 5-star that gets redone, like a Charlotte style redo that's actually good, you know, like redo Haste to make him an all-star for something, you know, redo Ludwig to make him amazing at cleaving. Just redo something to make something excited to talk about, because right now, after this is done, after I'm done this video, I'm not like theorizing what I can use and who I can build. Basically, all of these are good changes, but side steps. Maybe I'm wrong here, and that's another thing. It's okay for me to be wrong. Know that. I will be wrong very often, and that's okay to me. So, especially recording these without reading anything instantly after they're out, I'm never going to get everything right. So that's just my thoughts currently. Anyways, we're gonna stop here. Overall, a little disappointed in this. If I had Silverblade Aramintha or the ML5, which I think got the most fun of a change, or if I had the means to build Ravi, this would probably excite me for these changes. But so far, the only thing I'm probably going to notice here is the general purrgis change, just a little bit extra damage, and I might try out Celeste for farming. This is not going to get me to build Shadow Rose. This is not going to get me to use Kitty Clarissa more. Definitely not getting me to use Ken. It would actually technically get me to use Ravi if I had her Molagored up, but I don't, so I won't. It's not going to get me to use Kise because I don't think it's consistent enough for Guild War offense for how I try to play, but I do have her Molagored, so maybe I'll give her a shot. Not maybe, I will definitely give her a shot, but we'll see. And Silverblade Aramintha, I can't because I don't have her. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!